Assalamu alaikum. So this today is about linear function. We are going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So we are going to start with parallel line. So for parallel line we have two definitions, but we are more concerned only by one definition, which is the algebraic one. For the geometric definition, so it's something that you should know. So this is why we are going to talk about geometric definition, explain the concept behind. Then we move on to the algebraic and the use of algebraic definition to show if the line are parallel and to learn how to write the equation of a parallel line. So let's start with the geometric definition. So two lines are parallel. So if the distance between the lines is the same along the line. So I will show it to you in a graph. So suppose we have two parallel line, and you have a second line, for example, that line. Alright, I can say those two lines are parallel. So if I check the distance, what is the distance is the shortest length between the two lines, which is the perpendicular one. So when I check this, so when I find out that this is the shortest distance between the two lines, which is the distance between the two lines, look what happened if I keep moving my distance along the line, you see, is the same distance, is the same distance between the line. There's no difference between this position and this position. Now look at this. If I choose two lines which are not parallel, for example this line and that line, for example, and I try to find out the shortest distance between those two, for example this is the shortest distance. Now if I keep moving my distance along the line, as you see here, it's not the same, but here is the same distance between this position or here or here. The distance is the same between the line. So this is the geometric definition, and this is the idea behind. So the distance between the line never change if the line are parallel, but if they're not parallel, the distance changed. So let's write down this definition. So two lines are called parallel if and only if the distance between the line is the same along the line. Or sometimes we use the word constant. Is constant along the line. Constant does mean unchanged, does not change. So this is about the geometric definition. So let's talk about the algebraic definition. Parallel equal. So two line parallel if and only if just slope are the or are equal. It's better. So L1 be a line with slope m1, and let L2 be a line with slope m2. So we are going to say that L1 is parallel to L2. So this is the notation of parallel line. If and only if m1 is the same thing as m2. That means the slope are equal. So what does it mean, this statement? That means if I have the line are parallel, the slope are equal. So we can conclude. That means this uh, is double side. This is what you call equivalence, by the way, and is double side implication. So if L1 is parallel to L2, then we can conclude the slope are equal. If in the question they told you that we have two lines are parallel, right away you can conclude the slope are the same. And if the slope of two lines are the same, then we can conclude that the line are parallel. So that's the idea behind this statement. I hope it's clear. Now let me show you the graph of two parallel line with same slope. So suppose I have those two lines. So let me show you example. So if I have two equations with same slope, so suppose I have y1 equal 3x plus 7 and I have y2 equal 3x plus, for example, 2. So for the first line we have the slope is 3. Y-intercept is the point 0, 7. So what I'm gonna draw this line. So we know that the slope is 3, 1. So I'm gonna use the intercept slope to draw my line. So I'm gonna locate where is my 0, 7. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 here. This is the point 0, 7. Now I'm gonna run 1 and rise 3. So I will run 1, move to the right by 1 and up 3. So now I find out the location of my second point is here. Now I have 2 points, so I can draw my line. So let me draw my line here. Alright, so this is my line y equal 3x plus 7. So I do the same thing for the second one. So for the second one, slope again is 3, which is same thing as 3 over 1. And my y-intercept is 0, 2. So I'm gonna go to 0, 2. It's here. Let me use another color. So this is my 0, 2. Again, I'm gonna run or move to the right by 1, up 3. So now the location of my second point is here. Now I have 2 points. Now I can draw my line. So it's here. as you see, the line are parallel, so my equations y equal 3x plus 2. As you see, the slope are the same, the line are parallel. Straightforward. Now let's learn how to write the equation of the line if it's parallel. So how to write the equation of a parallel line. So as you know, if we need to write down the equation of the line, we need a point and slope. So those are very important. So now let me show this to you in example. Suppose they told us write the slope intercept form of the line that pass by the point 2, 5 and parallel to the equations y, or to the line y equal 3/5 x plus or minus 4. Alright, so the answer to that question is the following. I already have a point. So what I need a slope. So, but what I know that the line I'm gonna write down is parallel to this one. That means the line we are going to write is parallel to this one, which means if the two lines are parallel, that means they have the same slope. So the need of these equations is to pick the slope. So the purpose is to get the slope. We don't need nothing from this equation except the slope. So now I have the point is 2, 5. Now my slope is 3 over 5 because the two lines are parallel. Doesn't mean the slope are the same. Now I know that my equations, my point slope equation is y minus y0 equal the slope times x minus x0 or x1 y1, so it's the same thing. But here and I got my y will be the slope times x minus x0 plus y0. Now points, so my y will be 3/5 times x minus 2. Now what I do, I distribute 3/5 as a common 5. Same denominator, so it's going to be 19 plus 19 over 5. And this will be my answer. The idea. And suppose dot line, they give you that point 5 minus 1. And so that's me. Write the slope intercept the line that passes by those 2 points. So point of those 2 points is to get the slope. So we just need to use the formula of the slope to find the slope and substitute the slope into the equation to write down the equations. So that's the idea. Either they give you the equation of a line or they give you 2 points. So, but both cases, they just need you to get the slope. I hope it's clear. Now we are going to talk about perpendicular line. Again, we are going to give you the geometric definition and the algebraic definition. All right, the geometric definition of perpendicular line is two lines are co-perpendicular if and only if they are intersecting and make a 90-degree angle. That's all. So two lines are called perpendicular if and only if there are intersecting and make a 90-degree angle. So here, if I draw my line, I want to do perpendicular line. So either I use protractor or I use triangle. So for protractor, I need to make a 90-degree angle. So what I do here, I'm gonna move this here and try to rotate this and make a 90-degree angle. Try to make sure that the line is above the red line. There we go. Okay, I need to make sure that. All right. So now my point is here. Now I draw my perpendicular line. There we go. Now I took off my protractor here, and this is the line of perpendicular. So I put the sign of perpendicular. So this is L1 and this is L2. So now as you see they are intersecting. They have one common point and they make a 90-degree angle. So it's exactly what is the geometric definition of perpendicular line. Now let's talk about the algebraic definition. So two lines are called perpendicular if and only if the product of their slope is equal -1. So this is the algebraic definition. Two lines are called perpendicular if and only if the product of their slope is equal -1. So what do we mean by that? So let's L be M1, and let L2 be a line with slope M2. So we'll say that L1 is perpendicular, so this is the sign of perpendicular to L2 if and only if the product of the slope, so M1 times M2, is equal -1. Some book you can see this either one slope equal -1 over the other slope. Either M1 equal -1 over M2 or M2 equal -1 over M1 is the same thing. So it is the same idea. Most of the time we use this notation if one of the slope is given to us. So in that case, what we do to find out that the slope, I just make -1 over the given slope to get the other one. Either M1 or M2 is your choice. So like I say, this has two uh, direction implications. So we have, if it's the line are perpendicular, then I can conclude the product is -1. If the product is -1, they can conclude that the line is perpendicular. So this is two ways implication. So if L1 is perpendicular to L2, then we can conclude right away that this product of the slope is equal -1. And if the product of the slope is equal -1, then we can conclude that the two lines are perpendicular. So let's show you this idea in a graph. So how we can have uh, the algebraic representation of two lines in a graph using that idea. So suppose we have, let me give you an example. So suppose we have that equation. So we have y equal to x minus 5, and the second equation y equal minus half x plus 3. So again, for the first one, the slope is 2, which means 2 over 1. Y-intercept is 0 minus 5. So let me draw the first one. I'm gonna find what is 0 minus 5. This is 0 minus 5 is down. So this is 4, 5, so it's here. Now I'm gonna use my slope to draw the second point. So 1 to the right, 2 up. There we go. So the location of the second point is here. Now I know where is my, now I can draw my line because I have 2 points. So okay. Now let me extend this. All right. There we go. Now let me draw the second one. So my slope for the second one is minus half, and the y-intercept is 0, 3. Where is my 0, 3? Is 0, 3 is here. Now is going to the left 2 and up 1, or I can go to the right 1 and down 2. So let me do this. Let me go to the right by 2 and go down 1. Or I can do this, like let me show to you both way. I can go to the left by 2 and up 1. It's the same thing. So you're gonna see it. So here my point will be here. If I do the other side, the other way, the point will be here. And look, let's make a line. So now let's draw the line. Now this is my equation of the second line, which is y equal minus half x plus 3. And the equation of the first line is y equal to x minus 5. Alright, are they perpendicular? Why don't check? Let's check. So let me pick the triangle. Alright, so let's put a triangle here and check if it's perpendicular or not. So as you see, it's perpendicular. So we just need to have the product of the slope. So here if I do the product of those two slopes, so 2 times minus half is 2 times minus 1 over 2, which is minus 2 over 2, which is minus 1. As you see, when the product of the slope is equal to minus 1, the two lines are perpendicular. Alright, so after we show you that this is always true, so you can work with this. So now let's learn how to write a perpendicular line. How to write a perpendicular line. How to write the equation of a perpendicular line. So let me show to you in an example here. It's the same idea with the parallel line. So we need just a point and slope. And when they give you an equation or they give you 2 points, it's because they wanted to find the slope. That's all. So right, the slope intercept form of the line that pass by. I use the slope intercept form because this is the most common question they ask. By pass by 0, 2 and perpendicular to y equal 3/4 x plus 7. So like I say here, what we need the point and slope. So the point that was given to us is y-intercept, so which is the b. So here I can go straight away to my equations. Y equal mx plus b, because they already given to us the y-intercept, which is 2. So here this will become y equal mx plus 2. So what's left now is the slope. I need to pick the slope from here. But I know that the slope of the two line, when we time them together, they're gonna give us equal minus 1. So the slope of the second line will be m times 3/4 equal minus 1. So what I do here, I time both sides by 4 minus 4, which will give me the slope, which is minus 4 third, which is most, and y will be minus 4 third x plus 2. And this perpendicular and parallel line. So I hope you got the idea behind how to draw perpendicular line. If you have any comments about the lesson, please do so. It will help me improve my way of teaching.